This is me, attempting to find out if an intensive Wii Sports training program can make me better at real-life tennis. But here's the thing, I am not a naturally athletic person. I'm asthmatic, I have an inhaler, and I'm not afraid to use it. This, combined with my complete lack of coordination and grace, has made me noticeably bad at basically every sport. And tennis is no exception. Every summer, I walk past people on my local tennis courts, sun shining, rackets swinging, and I think to myself, maybe this time will be different. Spoiler alert, it never is. Within minutes, I'm out of breath, one game down, and wheezing like the penguin from Toy Story. So this year, I finally accepted that maybe chasing after a little green ball just isn't my destiny. But then, I remembered something. There was one version of tennis that I was actually good at, and that was Wii Sports. So, naturally, I've been wondering, if I committed to a rigorous Wii tennis training program, could Wii Sports actually make me better at real tennis? Logic says no, but my inner 8-year-old says yes. Before I can find out if this ridiculous experiment will actually work, I need to know exactly how bad I am at tennis to begin with. So, I'm starting with a test match to establish a baseline. No training, no warm-ups, just pure athletic incompetence. Once we know just what we're dealing with, I'll spend the next week testing the boundaries of scientific experimentation by training exclusively through Wii Sports. That's at least 1 hour a day dedicated to waving a plastic controller at my TV. At the end of my Wii training, I'll play one final match, an epic best-of-3 showdown, to see if I've improved or if Wii tennis skills don't actually translate to the real world. It's test day, and it's time to find out just how big of a miracle Wii Sports is going to have to pull off.
Jasmine versus fiance.
Fight.
It had been a while since I'd played any tennis, so I was optimistic that I might not even need much Wii training in the first place. That optimism lasted exactly one serve. After immediately losing my first point, it became clear that I had wildly overestimated my abilities. I persevered, losing another point, and I quickly realized it was a small miracle whenever I managed to return the ball at all. But even when I did hit it, I had no control over where it was going. To be honest, it's lucky that my camera is still in one piece. My first game had been lost almost as quickly as it had started, but since I was now warmed up, we decided to go for a best-of-3. But honestly, a warm-up was not what I needed. What I needed was divine intervention. As I hit the net, fumbled my backhand, and hit the net again, I began to think that maybe I had bitten off more than I could chew, and wondered if my poor elderly Nintendo Wii was up to the task of improving a tennis player as desperate as I was. It's training time, so let's start with the most important thing first, making my Mii. And now we're ready to get to business. It's time to train some tennis. The key to any good training program is to make sure that you have the right tools for the job. So to make sure that I'm getting the most out of my training, I got myself a Wii tennis racket. Because how else am I meant to train my muscle memory? I don't actually have a safety strap, but I promise not to smash my TV. Or at least, I promise to try. After my test match results, let's start with another best-of-3 to see if I'm any better at fake tennis. So far, not so good. Although I was clearly more evenly matched in Wii tennis, being able to return more than a single shot per game, got him. I clearly had some rust to shake off from 12 years of Wii retirement. And while it was much closer than my real test match, I still ended up losing to the computer. This is not good for my ego. I played some more matches for my practice session, continuing to take some ego bruising from the computer, but ultimately winning a best-of-5. And then I found something interesting. Since it's day 1 of training, I think we should establish a baseline. And this Wii Fitness game really reeks of Wii Fit child trauma. So let's give it a try. Haunted by the ghosts of Wii Fit past, I participated in a Wii Sports gauntlet of tennis, baseball, and bowling to see what my fitness age was. I wasn't doing amazing, but I didn't think I'd done that badly either, particularly while bowling with a tennis racket. Is this the right tool for bowling? I'm sure it'll be fine. But then I saw my results. I took note of my tennis rank, tried not to cry over my Wii Fitness age. Well, this just got worse. I may never recover, and called time on my first day of practice. It's day 2 of training, and it's time to get serious. We're gonna start by training what is perhaps my most fundamental flaw and the most important aspect of the game, returning the ball. Let's try that again. After my test match and first Wii practice session, I had identified a few areas that I would need to improve if I were to stand any chance of winning my final game. The first and perhaps most important was hitting the ball and having it land inside the boundaries of the court. So that's what I dedicated my next practice session to.
You beat the high score!
Okay, it's been over 2 hours now, and it's dark. I think we're going to have to accept that this is as good as it's going to get for today. But don't worry, I'll be back again tomorrow for another training session, and hopefully we can keep improving. Otherwise, this challenge is going to be more tricky than I thought. Yesterday, I semi-successfully practiced the important skill of being able to return the ball inside the boundaries of the court. Considering my frankly desperate tennis skills, I may have started off too complicated. So today, I'm really going to take it back to basics and practice timing my swings to be able to hit the ball in the first place. Where the ball goes after that is not my business. As long as I've made contact with my racket, it's an improvement. After making precious little progress during yesterday's 2-hour session, I really wanted to make sure I was focusing all my efforts on looking like less of an idiot during my rematch. Realizing that full games and fast return serves were still beyond my capabilities, I honed in on the timing that was necessary to hit the ball in the first place. Because even if I couldn't improve my aim and win, being able to return a serve would save whatever scraps of dignity I had left. Since it's been about half an hour, and I appear to have stopped making progress, I'm gonna play a few games to see if I've improved at all since my first day, because these practice tools are getting more frustrating than Dark Souls. With over 6 hours of Wii tennis in the last few days under my belt, this was when I realized I was starting to lose my sanity. I wasn't really improving in training games, and my eyes were turning into squares. But after a 10-minute back and forth with the computer for the final point of the game, I finally triumphed and got my first real taste of improvement. But this came at a cost. I'm definitely starting to get a bit more consistent with my aim. However, I think I may be developing RSI in my shoulder, so we're gonna call it here for day 3. But I am making some progress, so we'll see what happens as the week goes on. Over the next few days, I continued my Wii training program. Ignoring the growing possibility of a shoulder injury from playing fake tennis, I played more matches against the computer to improve my rank. Continued to practice my ability to return the ball more than 1% of the time, and started to notice some more areas for improvement in my form. My backhand was atrocious, both on and off the court, and had been the biggest weakness my fiancé had exploited during our test match. I had no ability to control whether or not I hit the ball, and on the off chance I did, how hard it would be or where it would go. So I added my backhand form to the growing list of things I needed to focus on during practice games. Something I also noticed my me doing was making an effort to run back to the middle of the court after each shot. If I could somehow remember to do this without turning into a walking asthma attack, I would be in a much better position for returning volleys during my rematch. It's day 6. My shoulder still hurts, but I'm beginning to notice some improvements. I'm getting much more consistent, both in the practice tools and in my doubles games, and I'm definitely getting much more of a feel of what the hell I'm supposed to be doing. Okay, if you say so. All jokes aside, by this point I was starting to feel much more confident in my Wii tennis abilities. My rank was up, my high scores were increasing, and I was winning more games. Then I realized there was one more tennis training tool I hadn't tried, and decided to give it a go. I think I found my limits. I genuinely don't understand what. I just don't understand. Okay, never mind. The final training day is upon us. My last chance to improve before I face off in my final rematch tomorrow. This will either be a roaring success where I spontaneously transform into Andy Murray, or it will end exactly how my first match did, swiftly and disappointingly. I'm really going to bring my A game today and practice with every tool that Wii Sports has to offer. Okay, maybe not that one. But I still have no idea if any of this will even translate into real tennis, or if I'll walk away from my past week of training still bad at real tennis, but with permanent shoulder damage. Somewhere along the way, I started to take this just a bit too seriously, and my last practice session did not go as planned. I had lost my consistency, I couldn't beat any of my high scores, and my rank had plateaued. I was in my head and making mistakes in my doubles games, questioning if I had done enough to make any difference to my game the next day. It's finally here, the rematch. I've bought my real tennis racket, no batteries required, that's much, much bigger than the plastic one I've been training with. But at least this one isn't going to run out of batteries mid-game. It's time to find out if a week of Wii Sports has taught me anything at all, or if I'm about to look extremely silly. Well, sillier than usual. This one's for all the marbles. While I did manage to return the starting shot, which was a significant improvement from my first game, I still lost the first point in record time, which was concerning. But things quickly started looking up as I managed to hit the ball inside the court quite a few times. Clearly, my Wii tennis practice had done something, but would it be enough? I lost another point and my hope quickly began to fade. But then a miracle happened. I actually won a point. Good thing I played it cool. Suddenly, I could taste the possibility of victory. I was much better than before, but my backhand might be bad enough to squash my dreams. Not for the first time, I managed to hit the ball into the net, but at least I was hitting it. My first game had been lost, but there was still a chance I could make a comeback and win the next two. This was a best of 3 after all. This time, my fiancé served, and I was feeling pretty good about my chances. I managed to win my first point, extremely skillfully, and made sure to get my celebrations in while I could. It's a good thing I did, because my backhand soon betrayed me for the next point. It was at this stage I could feel everything I'd worked for slipping through my fingers. My focus was hazy, my aim was wildly inaccurate, and I was making more careless mistakes. I managed to claw back another point, but it was not meant to be. One more backhand shot, and just like that, it was over. But I think I handled it pretty well. Even though I had lost, we were having a good time. Mostly. So we kept playing for a bit, and impossibly, I even won a game. Not when it mattered, but still, I was pretty happy about it. I hadn't won my best of 3 rematch, and I hadn't proved that Wii Tennis will help you qualify for Wimbledon, but I had proved that it helped. Quite a lot, actually. I could return serves much more frequently now, and despite the fact that it was still a mystery to everyone where my shots would end up, I was having a lot more fun playing tennis than before. And it had even convinced me to leave my house in England in October, which is a big ask. Well, that didn't quite go how I was hoping. Turns out, waving a Wii remote around your living room is a far cry from playing actual sports. Who could have guessed? I did actually get better though. The timing practice drastically improved my ability to hit the ball, but I think my aiming skills might be beyond what Wii Sports is capable of. So, no. Wii Sports did not make me good at tennis, but it did teach me not to take everything so seriously. Because at the end of the day, I still had fun, and I did improve. And honestly, that feels like a win. They said that you can't learn tennis from a 2006 video game, and they were right. But at least my me is proud of me. I think.